Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that exchange? First of all, James Dolan was wrong in a multitude of ways. The man said sell the team. James Dolan said that's not an opinion. If that isn't an opinion, what is? The man thinks you should sell a team? How is that not an opinion? Listen, James Dolan is obviously a brilliant businessman, knows how to make money, okay? So we can't take that away from him. I'm assuming you're that way because you got an education, okay? How is that not an opinion? How? When did that happen? How is that not an opinion? The man thinks you should sell the team. Okay, here's what's factual. That the New York Knicks have been anything but impressive under your stewardship since you took over in 2000. 5 playoff appearances. We're approaching the 6th consecutive year you've missed the playoffs. 1 Atlantic Division crown to show for all your efforts spanning nearly 20 damn years. Why would I be so annoyed with this, ladies and gentlemen? Why would this rake my nerves? Why would I feel the need as a native, even though I'm a native New Yorker and a diehard lifelong Knicks fan, why would I feel the need to be so agitated, so perturbed, so annoyed beyond comprehension over something this small, almost as small as Dolan? And by small, I mean petty, thin-skinned, weak, and the antithesis of the street fighter he called himself. Why would I feel the need to be so upset? It's very, very simple. Open your damn eyes. If you're going to be in the news for petty stuff like this, why would a free agent want to come here? Think about it.
The Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Stephen A. Smith Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, and you can always get in touch with the show.
The first half of the season, so much so that he got benched for Marcus Smart. It don't strike you as a tad bit odd that he was in the lineup to begin with? I'm just making that up. See, y'all just full of it. Full of it. Full of it. But it's cool. Mark, you're live with Stephen A. Go ahead.
Hey, Stephen A. Mark from Milford, Pennsylvania.
How are you?
Big fan of yours. I go all the way back to your days with Brandon Tierney. I was kind of bummed when you were off the station for a while, but really happy that you're back. Tried calling many times, but I can never get through. Anyway, just wanted to preface, I'm a white guy, and I'm 100% on your side. I think people take what you say the wrong way a lot of times because you're not a white guy, but you're honest, and I like that. You and Colin Cowherd are 2 of my favorites when it comes to saying the things the way that they are. I really enjoy you, Max, and Molly together. The thing that people have such hang-ups about, are racism in politics, and I think that racism is talked too much about. Not the way that you talk about it, because you talk about it in a fair perspective. But so many people, they hear you say something about a white guy or a black guy and like, oh, Stephen A. is racist. Bullcrap. You are one of the most honest people on the radio, and I appreciate you. I have to say I am worried for you when you have some of these diatribes because you are as honest as you are, and people do take things the wrong way. Not everybody's as open-minded as I am and as you are. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out.
Well, I appreciate that, but I gotta say this to you. Some people may be scared for me. I'm not scared for me. I can't be on the air and be dishonest about where I stand and how I feel. I'm open to being corrected because I'm not always right. You take the information and the facts that are presented to you. You state your position. I'm live. My show ain't tape delayed. I don't. And in the moment when you ask me a question, I'm going to give you my honest perspective. That's what I do. And I don't worry about people in terms of, oh, my Lord, you know what, just wait in line and wait for me to say the wrong thing or whatever. I made some mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I've been doing this. I've been a journalist for 25 years. I've been in this radio and television business for 20 years. Think about the minimal amount of mistakes that I've made over that period of time, considering the fact that I'm on the airwaves 10 live hours a week on television and 10 live hours a week on radio. Think about that.
Let me rephrase who I'm worried about for that. I'm worried about me because, like I said, when you were off the air, I can't remember how long you were off, maybe a year or two.
Yep, it was a year.
And I love listening to you. You, Mike Golick, with Golick and Greeny, and a couple other guys that I listen to throughout the day. You're one of my all-time favorites, and I was bummed. I was so happy.
Well, I got news for you, my brother. You ain't got to worry about that no more. You ain't got to worry about that no more. In this age, the advent of social media, podcasts, and beyond, oh, no. There's no disappearing anymore, my man. And not only that, I don't mean to brag, but I sincerely hope that ESPN will want me for years to come. But if they don't, I'm confident I'll be somewhere else. I'm going to be me. And I love and I'm proud to be a product of the Walt Disney Network, proud to be associated with ESPN. But you know what? I'm confident and cocky enough to say, you know what? They should be proud to have me. Because, excuse me, I don't rest on my laurels. I work for everything that I've earned. Nothing's been given to me. I put in the time. I put in the effort. I put in the energy. And I'll put my work ethic up against anybody in this industry. And that's no disrespect. I got to run. I appreciate the call. But ain't nobody backing up. That's not what I'm here to do. And a lot of times people will listen to what they peel from it, what they want to peel from it, instead of really taking you at what you say. And that's what I detest about folks in this industry sometimes, because it's not necessary. Where am I going? You disagree with me, you disagree with me. Just like that a-hole from WEEI that's why I haven't been back on that station. And I have a show on this station and still won't talk because of that one guy. Because you interviewing me about Tom Brady and you don't like what I say, so you want to attack me about Floyd Mayweather. What's that about? Because you disagree with what I say. So now it's personal, like you Tom Brady's brother or something. Taking it all personal, like I'm talking about you. Something going on that you need to tell us about? Take it that personal. But these are the kind of things I don't have time for. You ask me a question, I'm going to give you an answer. And I'm incredibly fair to my contemporaries and colleagues in this business. And unfortunately, I guess because of the position I'm in, people don't feel inclined to do the same. But that's on them. That's on them. More of your calls in a minute to close out the show. You're listening live with Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. By the way, if you missed any of the show today, go check it out on demand in the Stephen A. Smith podcast, brought to you by Capital One. Capital One is reimagining banking, offering accounts with no fees or minimums that can be opened in 5 minutes. Capital One. Hey, y'all can try to say smelling roses. You got people in Pittsburgh, burning jerseys in effigy and talking trash about Antonio Brown. Here's my advice to you. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Have you read this article by Bill Barnwell on ESPN.com? Have you read it? Have you seen it? First line, the Antonio Brown trade at its core, it's about the money. It's about a lot of other things. Power, respect, aging, and double standards all come to mind. But at the end of the day, this is a trade about money, which is why I didn't think it was going to happen. In making this trade, it goes on, the Steelers are passing up the opportunity to keep one of the 5 best wideouts in football on their roster for a $22.2 million of cap space for the opportunity to eat $21.1 million in dead money on their 2019 cap and let that guy play for somebody else. That's what you're basically doing. Because of the $21.1 million in dead money on your cap, you're basically paying Antonio Brown to pay for somebody else. To play for somebody else. How the hell is that good business? See, we want to sit up there and talk and talk and talk. Let me tell you something right now. It is very, very clear to me what has transpired. I don't even know if Antonio Brown was serious about Big Ben Roethlisberger. I don't even know he was serious about Mike Tomlin and telling him to go home, or Kevin Colbert. And I don't even know if he was serious about all of that in terms of how much it bothered him or whatever the case may be. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because if the plan clearly orchestrated by Drew Rosenhaus, because he's done this before with T.O. when he wanted him out of Philly and he ended up landing in Dallas. It's one of those situations where, as a player, what other recourse do you have? Other than coming across as such a headache that a team would deem it cancerous to keep you on board, and therefore be willing to let you go at almost any cost to themselves.
The Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Stephen A. Smith Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, and you can always get in touch with the show through the 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed.
Insurance, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Plus, get triple action protection for optimal engine performance with Shell V-Power Nitro plus premium gasoline. 50 minutes past hour number 2, back here in the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio. Some breaking news. The New York Jets, shunned by Anthony Barr after agreeing to come to the Jets. He's decided, after all, changed his mind. He's going to stay in Minnesota. The Jets have turned their sights to Le'Veon Bell, according to The Athletic. They have made him an offer, but they have given him a deadline to make a decision. They're not going to wait forever. They made it very, very clear. Obviously, tomorrow at 4 p.m., folks can sign their deals beginning at 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. They want a decision from Le'Veon Bell quick, fast, and in a hurry. We'll see what happens with that. Let's go to Pat. You're live with Stephen A. Real quick, Pat, go.
Yes, Stephen A., you are truly elite in your profession. I wrote this down yesterday. You are the hardest working person in sports. I got 2 quick things and a quick question. I deal with discipline in my profession all the time. The man in Utah that was so inappropriate with Westbrook should get an 82-game ban for his first offense.
I agree. What's your second point?
Second offense is lifetime ban. My next thing is, wouldn't it be something if Kentucky started the season losing by 35 and they are slowly inching their way to Duke, and they're slowly inching their way up? They're number 4 right now. So they've got nothing but better. Calipari, I'm not a Kentucky fan, but he's done a heck of a job.
Yep.
And my last thing is, who's your pick? Do you have a pick yet in the NCAA tournament? What do you think?
No, to me, it's Duke or the field, and I would tell you the field. I haven't watched enough college basketball to give you an astute analysis. I've seen North Carolina several times. I'm impressed. Virginia, their defense, I'm impressed. Duke, I've obviously watched it religiously. I won't forgive Louisville for the way that backcourt panicked against Duke when Duke came back and beat them at Louisville. They were in complete panic mode. I have no faith in their backcourt. And, of course, I got to pay attention to Kentucky and Gonzaga, who I watched that Gonzaga beat Duke early this year. I don't know yet, but as the NCAA tournament draws near, I'll make a pick. Let's go to Luke. Luke, real quick, you got 30 seconds. Go.
Hey, thanks for taking my call today. So I agree with you for the most part on this, the Gordon Hayward thing. I think a lot of it has to come down to the fact that, I mean, if I'm an owner, if I'm the Boston Celtics and I've spent a ton of money on this guy, I got to give him a chance to get out there and play, even if it's difficult at times, even if he's a step slow. They put all this money into him.
But you didn't have to start off the season. I got to run, so I want you to call back tomorrow when I got more time. But, Luke, they didn't have to start off the season that way. They could have waited to bring him back a couple of months in, let him come off the bench, and gradually work his way through, because you wouldn't have compromised. You wouldn't have compromised the other players, and you would have given him some time to acclimate himself comfortably without making other guys on the roster uncomfortable. That's my position. That's how I feel about it. But I got to get on out of here for the day. I'll be back in 22 hours. Until then, I'll holler at y'all. Michael K. with James Dolan at 5 p.m. on 98.7 FM in New York. Until then, peace and love.